Hey friends, it's spring cleaning time. As you can see behind me, the Edmonton Oilers jerseys, the flag, everything rearranged here as we get towards the playoff portion of the 23-24 NHL schedule. That said, we're also talking playoffs, it seems, every single video here the rest of the way home, unless we're talking about something specific that happened in a game. And, well, let's sit here and actually talk about what happened specifically in that game last night between the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, and why I am such a fan of it is Corey Perry, Evander Kane kind of got into it after a bad play, obviously, and kind of on the bench. You saw it was very animated, it was very heated, and it was very definitely directed at, hey, let's clean this up right here, right now. And what I like about that from the Edmonton Oilers is obviously you've got so many different personalities, you've got so many different levels of NHL experience, playoff experience, kind of all over the place here for the Edmonton Oilers. And what I want to see, it's almost the reverse of what many people would think you want to see. I want to see more freakouts on the bench. I want to see more kind of situations where guys are driving each other to get better minute in, minute out, right? Is the coaching staff, we've talked a lot this year about accountability and how that all shakes out, and maybe the lack thereof from Knobloch at times, the lack thereof from Woodcroft at times, whatever you want to say, fair game. But when it comes to the guys on the bench keeping each other accountable, keeping each other kind of, this is what I want, this is what I want, the communication, even if it doesn't look pretty at times, is definitely something I want to see going into the NHL playoffs, simply because I listened back on Flames radio, I think it was, back during a trip out to Northwest Calgary a couple of weeks back during work, and it was talking about, the conversation was talking about the Penguins when they were winning their Stanley Cups, right? Back in the 90s, is just how many personalities in that room were going at each other, attacking each other to get better, basically tear you down to build you up kind of mentality. And you know what? I'm sitting here, we've tried what we think is everything to figure out how to make this Edmonton Oilers team win a cup. We've assembled a lineup of guys now with Kane, with Perry, Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, Nuge, Ekholm, you name it, right? The guys that have been around this team are core pieces. Darnell Nurse is a vocal leader as well. And I think the nice part here is you go out there and look at everything for the Oilers as this evolves. And if everyone's keeping each other accountable, yeah, you know what? Draisaitl's going to take that stupid penalty in the playoffs. So is Kane, so is Nurse. Those are those guys. That's what they do. And I know everyone's like, oh, they wear letters or whatever the case might be. They can't be doing that. No, they can do that because, again, you look at what Pietrangelo did against Draisaitl. That changed after the Marcia Show game. That changed everything on a dime once more and basically put Vegas over the top in the series. Well, let me tell you, if you're one of those guys doing something dumb and somebody yells at you on the bench, hey, next time you do that, make sure you make that guy hurt, right? As it's not necessarily just about taking a dumb reactionary penalty, is we're getting into that time of year where you got to make it count. And I think here what you're going to see out of everybody, especially, is if those dumb penalties happen, there's going to be accountability of you got to make sure it counts. And when you look at this here for the Oilers, right, is a pass is getting critiqued in the regular season, everything is going to get critiqued by every single guy on the bench during the playoffs. And seeing this kind of stuff popping up right here throughout the season actually has me excited for how far the Edmonton Oilers could potentially go if they're all motivated and driven to, of course, keep each other honest and go out there and win hockey game after hockey game in the NHL playoffs. That said, again, right, is maybe it's not a long-term solution, but again, there's reasons some coaches, like I don't need to name names, but some coaches are able to find success with their teams being the coaches that they are, right? As if we have guys on our team that are driven to win just the same, hey, it might not necessarily be a bad recipe to go out there and get that long sought after cup we are all waiting for. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.